Forget to record. Thank you so much. Okay, so on a high level, what does inurl do? It basically shows us a list of results of keywords which are existing in the URL of the search result. Something like this. Here is it is. So this is a URL part of a search result. And what are the keywords we give after in URL? Those are the keywords which are appearing in the URL part of the search result. It basically shows us list of results where the keyword where the given keyword is existing in the URL of the search result. I guess Vasudha, last time you were mentioning if you're capturing these notes. I told that we'll capture in our next session, and this is the reason. Okay. On a high level, what does inurl do? It basically shows us the list of results where the given keywords existing in the URL, where the given keyword exists in the URL of the search result. For example, in URL, okay, for example, in URLs, resume or CV. Now, in these results, if we see, every URL has a word CV or resume. Okay.
So, Shiv, whatever we search for, there has to be no gap after these colons, right?
Yes, I'll cover that. Give me a second.
Okay.
Not like this. Okay. Let me slightly minimize it. Okay. Now, on a high level, what does inurl do? It basically shows us a list of results where the given keyword immediately after the command inurl exist. Okay. Where the given keyword immediately after the inurl should exist in the URL of a search results. For example, in URL resume or CV. Now in this search result, we will see every URL have a CV or resume like this. All right. Okay. Now use cases of in URL. Okay. The way and or not are case sensitive. Is in URL case sensitive?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. In URL is case sensitive. Okay. Do we really have to put a space? Okay. Do we have to put a space after in URL between in URL and a keyword? Do we have to put a space or do we need a space?
I think not necessary.
No.
Not necessary or definitely not?
It's both should work.
Anyone else?
There has to be no space.
Hmm?
Definitely not. No space should not be there.
No space required.
Yeah. Should not be there.
Why?
It is a command for the this one Google. So if you give a space, I think it may take it like a and.
And yeah,
Awesome. What will happen if we space between okay? What will happen if we give a space between in URL and keyword? For example, in URL, there is a space. It will basically go back to the common understanding of and. Who is that? Okay. So basically what will happen? It will basically go back to the common understanding of Boolean. Common understanding of Boolean logic and consider in URL as a separate keyword and resume or CV as a separate nest, and start giving us a list of results which has in URL and CV or resume. For example, so it has gone back to the common understanding of Boolean logic and or and consider in URL as a separate keyword and resume or CV as a separate nest because it's given in bracket. And start giving us a list of results which has in URL and CV or resume as a keyword. For example, in URL, CV or resume. Okay. Now here, though we see resume in the URL, but what exactly happens is when we give a keyword, in keyword search, we know that the keyword can appear anywhere in the profile page. It could be in the URL, it could be in the title, it could be in the text. So that is the reason we are seeing the initial keywords, initial results where we have a resume or CV in the URL. But as we go to some advanced pages, okay, now if you see here, let's take a look. Tick, 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 hacker rank, hacker.com, blog, talent assessment, Boolean search string. So though we do not have a resume or CV in the URL. So what this result is showing us, where is it? No, not here. Let's go back. So URL as a keyword, resume as a keyword, CV as a keyword, in URL as a keyword. Again, resume as a keyword. And again, URL will be here and there, CV will be here and there. So URL parameter, resume. Now, if you see all these results, here we do not see a CV or resume in the URL. Rather, we see CV or a resume on the entire page, as well in URL or URL related keywords on the entire page. Now, you may ask me, we have given in URL, but we are seeing only URL is getting highlighted. Yes, we have given in URL, but only URL is getting highlighted in some cases. And in some cases, in URL is getting highlighted. The reason because, as I mentioned, uh, Google search logic, what it does, it starts showing us a synonyms of those also. That's within this URL or in URL, which are kind of a synonyms to the particular keyword. And that's the reason we're getting. And now let's see if we do not want that particular synonyms and if we're really stringent about that particular keyword, then what's the command we need to give?
Double quote. Double quotes.
Absolutely. But in this logic, double quote doesn't apply. It's basically a typo. We have given in URL colon space is basically a typo. Here, double quote doesn't apply. Nobody would intentionally do like this. I want in URL. Sorry. In URL like this and resume or CV. No one would do that. That's basically a typo. And what happens? Here, it's taking all the variety of combination of in URL. It's trying to understand the synonyms of it, and space becomes and for it. CV or resume. It started showing us a list of results where CV or resume is must to have, and then URL related keywords are still appearing. So now if you see here, here is one of the example. Though here, if you see Freshworks, so Boolean search, recruitment Boolean search. So that is not really existing. But on the entire page, somewhere resume or CV must be existing, and that URL or in URL must be existing. And that's the reason we just got that. Seems to be interesting. Notes. See here.
You better do Control F.
So it's here. All right. And again, this is also wrong. What is wrong in this? What is wrong in this?
I is in capital letter.
Spot on. I is in capital letter. So another thumb rule of in URL, basically this is a case sensitive and not even a single word should be in a capital letter.
Yeah, but Shiv, in one of the URL, these, CV resume was not appearing in the URL. It was coming in the text. How come that? Because we have mentioned in IN URL, CV, and resume.
See, resume or CV has become a keyword now. URL also has become a
Okay,
keyword.
that
As soon as you give a space,
okay.
space means
Understood.
for Google, it's and.
Yeah, understood. I understood. Yeah, got your point. Yes. No,
Yeah.
but we can always say the structure of this IN URL, search itself is defined like this only, na? IN URL without any space.
Without any
That
space.
also,
What is the reason behind that? Whenever we use
that is,
in URL,
yeah,
there should not be any
yes.
space between the keyword and in URL colon. What is the reason behind it?
Yeah,
Why
understood.
there should not be? No, I'll tell you. Why there should not be any space? Okay, space should not be there. That is a thumb rule for sure. Yes, in URL is case sensitive and not even a single alphabet should be in a caps. Okay. And do we need a space after in URL? No. What happens if we give a space between in URL and keyword? And the next question is why there now this becomes most important question. Why there should not be a space between in URL and a keyword? Anyone?
Because it will take it as and, because space is and for Google.
First reason, it will take it as and.
Yeah,
Second reason. First reason we cover here. This is the first reason.
Second reason, I think for this is a link Google command issue. It has to be given like that.
But why?
The rule of
Thumb rule it is, but why? A for apple. We all know. But why not A for aeroplane? First result. Okay, first answer is in the above result. First is in the above. First answer is in the above explanation. Second answer, basically, why there should not be any space when we use in URL. In title, there can be a space. In title, colon, open the bracket. Between opening the bracket, there shouldn't be. But in title, colon, open the bracket, software engineer, double quotes, space, pipe, space, within the double quote, software developer. When we are using in title, there can be a space. We'll come back to the in title, but let's do here. There can be a space, but there should not be a space
Now,
between.
can I try?
Tell me
Can I try, Shiv?
what?
I mean, usually, I mean, it's not usually the URL should not be having any space. That's
Yeah.
why we should not give here.
No, it's not the hard and fast rule that no, you should not use space when you use in URL. There is actually a reason behind it because on the entire whole world wide web, okay, there is no link, there is no web link, there is no URL link which has a space. You search for anything, get me one URL link which has a space. Either it is a hyphen, or it is a forward slash, or it is a next. Because what happens when the URL is getting constructed? When the URL is getting constructed, it is forming uh, like URL. What is URL? Is basically an address, your web address. Similarly, uh, even if you're staying in an island, physical address, but still there is some relation between a land and an island of a sea, of a river. There is no space. Your island is not in the space. At least on the earth, your island is not in a space. Similarly, on a World Wide Web, there is no space in the URLs. When I say there is no space in the URLs, let's say we go to linkedin.com. LinkedIn.com is our main folder. Okay, forward slash feed is a default folder. Someone who goes to linkedin.com, they end up in linkedin.com forward slash feed forward slash. If I click on my network, this is another folder. It becomes linkedin.com forward slash my network. When I click on jobs, it is another folder, linkedin.com forward slash jobs. Any web page is basically a collection of folders, collection of boxes. When I say collection of boxes, every web page will come there when we are discussing a technical topic. But when I say collection of boxes, let's say if I select all, what all things are getting selected? Those are basically a boxes. Those are basically a blocks. In layman language, every web page is a collection of box. In technical language, we call it as object. And any language, by using, if these objects are getting functional, if these objects are getting live, if these objects are connecting in a backend, those languages are called object-oriented language. That's reason for web application development, for mobile application development, or any application development, we need object-oriented language because those languages are basically giving a life to this particular object. Now let's go back to the topic. Why there should not be any space while we use in URL, because there is no URL which exists on the entire whole world wide web which has a space. It cannot be linkedin.com forward slash jobs space Java jobs. It cannot be like that. It's not a complete URL. It can be like this. You got a Java jobs, Java related at least. But what happens if you give a space? So it does not understood. That page doesn't exist. Please check your URL or return to the LinkedIn home. So let's go back. Go to the feed again. Now let's say I click on my network. Now you see the performance of the URL. linkedin.com/my network, the first folder. Again, I go to the second folder, which is after my network. Okay, linkedin.com/my network /invite-connect/connection. So this is still under the application. Now it has redirected to this page, linkedin.com/search/result/people/question mark/network equal to some algorithmic format, which is in a backend, member profile canned search. But there is no space in the entire URL. Again, we go to notifications, linkedin.com/notifications/filter all. Again, we come back, view settings, linkedin.com/my preferences/d/notification-channel/on-linkedin. Account preferences, linkedin.com/my preferences/d/category/account. When we are basically building a website, okay, all these are basically folders. Let's say I was able to recover my data. Okay, let's say CSS site. This is one folder. Under CSS site, images. Let's say resumes. Okay, I'll just go here. Okay, now desktop. And the next first folder is my computer. Okay, now if you see here, S backslash, then OneDrive backslash desktop. Thank God, OneDrive has saved me today. Backslash desktop, again backslash resume. This is the first folder link. As soon as I go to SD3, desktop /resume. As soon as I open, once I open the profile, it will open in a new profile. But if there is a folder again under this, let's make a folder again under that. Okay, I'll go SD3. Okay, so SD3 shortlisted is one folder. Again, after shortlisted, new. Interview schedule this folder. Candidate attended. Okay. Now if I go back, okay, here is desktop. Okay, let's say I just directly go to the desktop. We came to desktop. Then we went to resumes. After resume, here we went to SD3. So SD3. After SD3, we went to shortlisted. Again shortlisted. Then again we went to interview schedule. Again interview schedule. Candidate attended. Again candidate attended. Now if you see here, so though it is showing us a space over here, but technically there is no space. If you see here now, technically there is no space. It is on our desktop. But when we host it now to the World Wide Web, wherever the space is there, that becomes a hyphen.
Sir, here is backward slash and in your LinkedIn there is forward slash.
That is on web. This is on desktop. On desktop, it's always a backward. On web, it's always a frontward. So there are two types of server. One is physical. My laptop is physical. And the other is cloud, where LinkedIn is hosted. And that's where it becomes a forward slash. Okay. Now, coming back here. Now, if you see, all these are basically a folders, a collection of folders. Okay. Now, even on desktop also, if you're seeing, as I mentioned, though it is showing us a space here, interview hyphen schedule, because that is our name of the folder. But when we actually host it to web, that space is replaced by either a hyphen. So where is a forward slash? So OneDrive / desktop. So if I see here, so wherever you see here backward slash is basically a forward slash in a cloud. Whenever we are searching on a Google or wherever, it becomes a forward slash, something like this. As you asked in LinkedIn, it is a forward slash. Okay. And wherever there can be a space like profile information, let's say, let's go here. If we can see now, or let's say randomly browse some profiles. Even the LinkedIn functionality, LinkedIn is saying you update your first name, then you mention your last name. So first name, last name. So there's a space between that first name and last name, but that space is getting covered. Now this is a default pattern of LinkedIn, which is first name hyphen mid name hyphen last name hyphen some alphanumeric number. Here, wherever the space is there, that space has become now hyphen here. So first name hyphen middle name hyphen D'Souza hyphen some alphanumeric or numeric unique ID of this particular LinkedIn profile, and then the forward slash. So that is the reason in URL on a whole World Wide Web, no URL has a space, because that www dot won't understand space. As soon as we get a space and as soon as we host it, it will convert it with hyphen. Any doubt, any confusion? Yes, no?
Shiv, I have a point.
Mm-hmm.
So in URL, intitle, intext will work the same way for all the platforms, be it Google or LinkedIn or any other job board?
No. In job board, see, job board is an application. Google is a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, you directly
Right.
perform a search, direct searches. Here you perform a search, those are direct searches. Two types of searches, direct search and indirect search, which I was going to cover in a couple of advanced sessions. But for your knowledge,
Okay.
in URL doesn't work here because it's an application, it's a separate application altogether. Here we do a direct search on the platform. Indirect search, which is called X-ray searches, for them we use a in URL where we are actually extracting the complete web. We'll come there when we learn
Okay,
about
so
the X-ray searches.
that will make, so basically in URL, in text and in title will mainly work on Google, right?
These are Google search operator, to keep it simple.
Okay, okay. And Shiv, one more request. Can you create a string with in URL, in text and in title if in case we have to search for resumes for recruiters or
We'll
talent
search,
acquisition people?
Wait. We'll go.
Okay,
Step by step.
okay.
First, understand the concept. While understanding the concept, we'll come across those kind of examples, then we'll go. Okay. So I'll just take a pause. Now, if you see here, suspend and resume calls hyphen SAP space documentation. Okay, this has become a title, but let's open this one. Just in case if something is existing in the URL, you would see SAP help, everything, all those stuff, but there is no space. So on the whole World Wide Web, there is no URL which exists with the space. Though there is a folder which has a two names like resume templates. It is one folder. Okay, they have uploaded, they have hosted to the cloud. But what happened? That has become resume hyphen template. So that's the reason we should not be using a space. We can use like this if you want. Resume hyphen me. Let's go with this one only. Okay. So resume me, resume hyphen me, resume hyphen me. Okay, resume hyphen me. So this is some blog, resume hyphen me. You can use hyphen, you can use forward slash without any spaces, but you can't use CV hyphen CV space resume. All right. So resume forward slash me, resume hyphen me, resume hyphen me. So here we have contact details, contact details. So sometimes it will show us a list of result which has either a forward slash or which has either a backward this thing hyphen. Now in this resume space me, I'm seeing. So it does not exist. So it's the name of a title, but once we open a profile, we are able to see the title over there. But once we open a result, it's taking us to facebook.com/profile, blah, blah, blah. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubt?
No, but here resume slash me. Me means what here in this case?
People might enter, contact me, connect with me.
Okay, okay. So, but even some people write CV also, no? Resume slash CV also.
Some people might write CV/me. Not writing, basically that's a format of this thing, hosting. So here if you see resume hyphen me, it has come.
Shiv, I just want to know, can we search someone particularly, like any candidate with this URL, like putting here?
100%.
Is it possible?
100%, but not today.
Okay.
Today focus on concept.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, how this in URL is working. Why there should not be any space while we use in URL. Any URL you see, there is no space. The whole World Wide Web has no URL which has a space. Just in case if some folders with the space, if the folder name like my space resume is getting hosted to Google, it becomes my hyphen resume, something like in URL.
So
Why?
Shiv, so
Huh.
when you put in URL in bracket resume slash in in URL bracket resume
Even when
and
you're
CV.
using
Okay,
bracket,
resume
resume
after
or
that.
CV, there should not
Yeah.
be space. There
Okay.
should not
So
be
you will
space
get
between.
results with bracket without space.
Huh?
Okay.
No, I
So
didn't get it.
I'm asking you. Yeah. So I'm asking you like in URL, then bracket resume pipe and me, and you'll close the bracket.
That is
And
fine.
we will get
Unless
the
there is
results
no space,
even
that
for
is
that
fine.
as well as
Resume pipe
okay, okay. Even okay,
CV
me.
hyphen me. This is also still fine,
Okay, and
but
you'll close the
it shouldn't be like this. What will happen if it is like this?
it will take it as separate word.
Go back to Boolean logic. Okay, let's say we are not using like this. We're just using CV hyphen me. Okay. So now we get the search results which has a resume or CV hyphen me in the search results. Wait. Okay, see CV.me or CV hyphen me. So the special character between CV and me, it could be dot, it could be forward slash, it could be hyphen, unless we are not giving them in a double quote. Okay, now this is CV dot me. ये तो पहले देख लिए थे. Okay, CV hyphen me, resume hyphen me, resume is there. Basic thing, CV hyphen me. Take resume dot me. It's there in the URL also. So resume dot me, but resume is there. Even if we go to the last pages. Okay, CV hyphen me. That doesn't exist, but let's see. CV hyphen me. Earlier, this URL was existing. Google still remembered and showed us the result. But when we open now, the URL must be changed. That page must be not existing, but it's still showing. Okay, CV hyphen me. Even if you go to the last pages, you still have a either resume or CV hyphen me in the URL. Now let's say we do like this. What will happen? Any guess?
It will
Or what can
consider
happen?
this
What are the possibilities
space.
of happening something?
So Google might consider this space as an and we, if we use our Boolean logic, so it will consider this as two words, two keywords, resume and then or and then and
So
CV, like
is it
that.
going to consider and or?
It will consider and or as two words, and then it will show results
Pipe.
accordingly.
Pipe is for or.
Pipe is or, yes, yes.
Can we give a space before and after pipe?
No.
Yes, no, both. In shorter searches, yes, it doesn't make any difference. In longer searches, to save that space, we remove the spaces. But otherwise, it doesn't make any difference. It just consider as or. So what will happen if we give like this? Or what can happen?
But
In URL, colon, open the bracket, resume, hyphen, space, CV, hyphen me.
CV
What will
dash
happen
me
is,
not to be given in inverted commas.
normal, this is the search. What can happen?
Sure, I guess it's for resume it will search in the URL. For CV hyphen me, it will not find in the URL because we have given a space CV hyphen me that anyways anywhere in the world web space will not be there in the URL.
Absolutely.
So
What
I think
happens?
we'll get only for resume.
Only for a resume. And okay, so what will happen, as Raghu mentioned, can everyone go on mute, please? Okay, so what will happen in URL resume, this will become one keyword in URL resume, that pipe becomes a or, and CV hyphen becomes a additional keyword. So you might see a list of results where resume is reflecting in the URL and CV hyphen me can be reflecting anywhere on the page. It could be in the URL, it could be in the title, it could be in the text, wherever. Again, going back to the same Boolean logic. Resume, 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 resume. Everywhere we have resume in most of the cases. Let's go to some of the last pages. Okay, resume, resume, resume. Okay, in this page. Okay, resume is still existing in the URL. India type. Now, if you see here, CV. Okay, so in this example, resume might not be existing. CV and resume both are existing. Just leave it. Submit resume. Let's go to some more last pages. On your resume still existing. Oh, career CV. Sikkim, let's see this. So resume is still existing. Most of the results, resume is still existing. But we might come across some of the results where resume is not existing in the URL, but it is not resume. Where resume is not existing in the URL, but CV-me or CV or CV.me or CV/me or only CV is existing in the anywhere on the results. So CV.me. Chalo, this example we can see. Google Books. Now, if you see here, this is anyway the URL what we gave. Okay, a result for the URL what we gave, but actual URL is still here only. So if you see here, this has come now. Okay, so we did not get, so it is still trying to get into the Google Books and search for. Google Books is again other source of sourcing. Now CV.me is here. CV.me is here. Where resume is not in the URL, but CV.me is here. Okay, in URL resume happen. View all. So CV.me is here. Okay. Any doubt?
Shiv, one thing, like CV can either be in PDF format or in a Word document, right? So is there
CV
any
word can be
possibility to
anywhere.
keep?
That works as a keyword. It could be anywhere, any format, unless you define the format. Defining a format will go on
Like
advanced
that is what
levels.
I'm
We'll tell
asking.
you.
Is it possible? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay, fine.
We'll go on advanced
So
level. When we go on advanced level, that time we'll discuss about defining the formats.
hi, Shiv. I have one question.
Yeah.
I think it may be an interesting question. So, if at all, instead of resume, suppose the URL has the word called presume, presume. Okay. So, will our search may fetch that if I don't use insight or something? For example, I sent a link to you just now. I was just curiously searching for any word which is hidden in the
Resume.
word
No,
presume.
no.
Yes.
Because in URL is continuation to that particular keyword and it is only searching for resume. It won't search for presume.
Okay. Okay.
It won't. Google is that much sensible and it's strong. At least when we are giving in the URL. When we are giving in title also, in title CV or resume like that, it will give us a result and it might give us curriculum vitae. Though we have not given, it will give us profile because those are the synonyms of resume or a CV.
Synonyms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Synonyms can come, but that keyword mismatching like resume, presume, that won't happen.
No,
Keyword
because
mismatching
resume
won't
is
happen.
there in the presume, so that won't happen. Okay, okay.
No, that won't happen.
Yeah, but yeah, Shiv, just one query. These we discussed earlier also, no? After resume space, then pi after space. These space can be there, cannot be there. Is that understanding correct?
Which space?
After resume space, and then after this bar also space. This can be there, cannot be there, na? It can be removed
Simple.
also.
What is the thumb rule of pipe? We have to use
Pipe
brackets.
is or
Okay. Can
yeah,
there be a space
bracket.
before and
Yeah,
after pipe? Answer is yes. Answer is no. Both.
yeah, both. Huh.
Answer is
So
yes. Answer is no.
both is
Both.
the yeah. So I'm saying if in this case in the URL these resume and CV me also should come, na? In that case.
No, not in URL case. As per the Boolean logic, can there be a space before and after pipe or can there be a space before and after or? Answer is yes and no both. But as per again the
Okay.
Google Boolean logic, can there be a space when we use a in URL command? Answer is strict no. The reason because there is no web link on the whole World Wide Web which exists with the space. The day
Okay,
when
understood.
the links are forming with the space, maybe that day it is possible, but not today.
Okay. So
Till
in
the
this
day,
command, we'll have to remove these spaces after resume and this before. Okay. So in this search, we'll have to make it resume, remove the blank, then
yes,
bar, remove the blank.
yes,
Okay, understood. Thanks a lot.
absolutely correct. That's where from lakhs of
Understood.
billions of results, we got only 1300 now.
Yeah, thank.
All right. So I'll just take a pause. Any doubts on in URL? Okay, so let's come to the notes. Why there should not be any space between in URL and the keyword? First answer is in the above question. And the second answer, and the other reason is, there is no web link on a whole World Wide Web. Space. Even with a space in a folder. Even when we host a folder to with a space in a folder name, for example, my space resume here, space will become hyphen once it get to www. For example, कैसे बताऊं example इसका? Let's go to it is available. Sourcing space X space press. Couldn't rename a repository to sourcing space X space press. You got an error. And that becomes again default sourcing -x press. immediately it has given error. Simple. But I need to see whether it has broken or not. I don't think, yeah, it's not broken. Though we tried giving a space, but it did not take it. But let's see within this thing, some folder will try to give a space and name it. For safer side, I did not give a spaces. Mm, that still becomes, so you see sourcing express is a main folder. After that forward slash index is a second folder. So here the link has become sourcing express forward slash block forward slash main forward slash index. Now let's say here we can, okay, the learnings. Okay, so sourcing express course and a content. If I give this course content, we'll rename it. Course space content will do it. Course content. So it's already hosted. I can change the code, but I can't change this. Okay, let's give a space like this and try to save changes. Right, so we just come here. So course space content. So where we gave course content, the learnings. So though it's a space over here, but when we open, that becomes course. It takes 1 minute to get updated. Either it will be broken or it will be course hyphen content. So to get just now, we just have to wait for 2 minutes to get it hosted, to get it updated. So course space content. Similarly, I'll just go for index and I'll change the href link. So this becomes course space content. Okay, let's wait for 2 minutes. Okay, course space content, that folder we have posted now. So these 2 minutes already happened. Let's wait for index folder also to be hosted. Then we'll see what will happen is either that URL will change source hyphen content or it will say 404. 1 minute over. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Two minutes. Okay. So let's refresh the purpose, the learning. Awesome. So again, that space has become percentage 20. So it is not actual real time hosted. I just hosted on Google. And we know whenever we search for software engineer, software plus engineer, or some cases we have seen that that space is becoming percentage 20. So here you say, see now, the space has become percentage 20. That means there is no space which exists on the entire whole world wide web which has a space. Any doubts? Yes, no, confusing, difficult, easy to understand. Say something, guys. Sleepy.
No doubt, Shiv.
Or do you want again examples of biryani and all? We good?
It is a bit confusing.
Confusing. That's the reason I'm asking. Ask. What is confusing? Tell me.
Shiv, my problem is that yesterday I lost my network, due to which I was unable to continue the classes. So please share the recordings with me, because I think today's session, it is more related to yesterday. So if I am taking these two sessions together, then I'll make a better understanding of these two sessions.
Got it. That's the reason I told. Don't try to miss a session because every session is linked to the next session. If you miss it, you'll be blank. And if you forget practicing after 1 week, I'm telling you'll be completely blank. Though I'm covering it live, though you'll understand when you're live, but when you do it by yourself, you'll be completely blind.
Exactly.
Okay, any more doubts on in URL and their use cases? Why there should not be any space between in URL and keyword? First answer is in the above question and the explanation. And the other reason is there is no web link on the whole World Wide Web. On the whole World Wide Web where there is a space. Even when we host a folder to World Wide Web with a space in a folder name, for example, my resume, here the space will become either hyphen or we have just seen
Percentage 20.
awesome or percentage 20 once it get hosted to www. All right, so let's pause it only for the in URL today. Any further use cases of in URL? One is like it has to be in a cap. There should not be any space. There should not be any space between the colon also. That's not need to cover in the notes, but yeah, when we use in URL, there should not be space. Simple, hard and fast rule.
After the
After the
colon
colon
and
also, there
bracket
should not be space. No, there should not be
and the
space.
bracket?
There should not be any space.
No.
No. The reason because there is no
All
World
right.
Wide Web, any link on the whole web which exists where there is a space. Though we host a folder to the World Wide Web with a space, something like my space resume, but after hosting, it will become either my hyphen resume or my percentage 20 resume or 404 error. I was actually expecting 404 error or a hyphen, but luckily it gave percentage 20. What will happen if we give a
Sure.
space? What will happen if we give a space? For example, like this, this will search, this space becomes and for Google and it will start searching CV or resume and keywords related to URL. This is something which we covered over here. I'll remove this example from here. It might confuse. We already gave it here. Okay, what will happen if we give a space between in URL, colon, space, and a keyword? For example, in URL, space before or after. Let's take space before or after. Colon or okay, what will happen if we give a space before or after colon or in URL colon and a keyword? For example, in URL colon resume or CV or in URL space colon resume or CV or in URL space colon resume or CV. Answer for all these three questions is same. It will basically go back to the common understanding of Boolean logic and or and consider in URL or in URL as a separate keyword and resume hyphen CV as a separate nest because it is given in a bracket and ignore colon because it's not a keyword and only a special character. Hence, it will start giving us a list of results which has in URL and CV or resume as a keyword. Okay. Now coming back, any which ways we'll cover in this only. There's one more interesting point to know. Are the special characters searchable? What else? Are the special characters like so and so searchable? I mean, C-H-A-R-E-C. Sorry, I'm bad in spelling because Google made me like that by correcting my mistakes, auto correcting my mistakes. I mean, special characters. I mean, can special characters. I mean, can special character. I mean, can special characters be considered as keywords? Are special characters like minus, plus, colon, semicolon, brackets, blah, 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 all those stuff searchable? I mean, special characters be considered as a keyword? Yes, no.
No.
Question mark, yes.
Question mark is searchable.
Any. So I think it is searchable.
Are you sure?
No, I guess we find any.
Yeah, Shiv, question mark is searchable, and these some of these parentheses are also searchable. These two,
I think plus is
as I
also.
understand.
No, nothing is searchable. Based on only behavior, when we are searching for question mark, Google is assuming, okay, the person might want to see some results which has a question mark. But if you give question mark like this, if you want to know whether that special character is searchable, then give it in double quotes. You give only special question mark, it will show some or the other content based on the assumptions that the person might be searching for images or anything. But as a keyword,
Yeah.
if I'm searching, same result should come. Why it is not coming? Because it is not searchable. It's directly ignoring. But if I'm giving like this, it's giving us a result with the assumptions that person might want to see the images or something, something, something. Those are the assumptions what Google are making. But is it really searchable? Answer is no. If it is searchable, then it should give like this also. Make sure that all the keywords are spelled correctly. Keywords are spelled correctly. Can special characters be
It looks
spelled?
like
No, it can be called, but it can't be spelled. Question mark can be called, but it can't be spelled. Try a different keyword. Try more general keyword. What it's suggesting, make sure all the keywords are spelled correctly. When it's saying keywords are spelled correctly, that means it is indicating to alphabets. Alphabets can be spelled, but special characters like plus, minus, uh, thumb, or question mark or anything, these are not spelled. Okay. Now, second interesting question. Can emojis be searchable?
Yes.
Okay. First, I'll
Yes,
just take a pause. Do we understand why special characters are not searchable?
because they can't be spelled and they can be called.
Exactly. No, it can't be.
but with a combination we can, right, Shiv?
Combination also no. It will assume, but you give in double quote, it will not. It can't be
It's
searchable.
giving
The reason
something.
because
I just tried open bracket plus and close it together. It was showing some results.
I'll come there. The reason because Google will only search for are actually words with alphabet. However, when we search for special character, either it will ignore or start showing a result with assumptions. And can be spelled. Yeah, Raghu, you were telling something?
I mean to say, like, with the combination of the special characters, we will be able to search, right? I mean,
Can you
only in the
please ping
Google,
here?
not with the in URL, not in the in URL. Like,
No, normal search. Here also we did not use any in URL. Here we just give within the double quotes question mark.
yeah, I just pinged you.
Okay. So this may have existing results. So here, this has an existing result. That's reason it is showing. But if it doesn't have existing result, it will not show. Now, if we take, let's say, plus like this, if there is a existing results, it will show us. Now, when you're going with more operator, more special character, then it becomes, okay, now this person is trying to search for some text which has an existing result on a whole
Text, yes.
world wide web. Then it will show us a result because there are existing result. But is it searching as a keyword which can be spelled? Answer is no. It is actually searching for a list
No.
of result which has these things. But when I search for just the single, it is not giving us because there is no existing keyword. But similarly, when we search for alphabet, it will give us because there are existing content. Because it can be spelled.
So when you give combination, it's like a pattern for that.
It's a pattern for them.
Yeah.
So basically, special characters can't be spelled. However, when we give a combination of special character, it will again become one particular kind of a nest, or it will become one particular set, or it will become some pattern. And if the results are existing with that particular pattern, it will store. So let's capture that point also. Use. Okay. So, however, when we use this special character with a multiple combination like semi brackets plus within the double quote, it will become a content for Google and it will start showing as a result with semi bracket plus within a bracket. But again, here is a catch that it has given us a result with plus under the bracket, but the double quotes were ignored. The reason again, it went back to the Boolean logic and understood double quote as an operator and gave only. So now if you see here, the double quote is missing. Okay, so whatever is there, that has come like this. Any further doubts? Okay, now comes to
Yeah, Shiv.
emoji. Huh.
Yeah, just one question. These, symbols or characters, these cannot be used in combination our normal keyword searches? Can
Like
you
that,
give
you
show
might
some
ask me,
example where
can we use like this? Okay, something like star at the rate
some real search? Yeah, something. Yeah.
gmail.com, right? At the rate is a special character. Star will cover in future, but for now, say star is a fill in the blanks and then gmail.com. We're getting a result, but only with the gmail.com. At the rate, this is actually this thing, but at the rate Gmail, okay, content is there, and we have given in the double quotes. If the content is existing, it is giving us like this, so that we are able to identify our profiles with their Gmail IDs. Content is there, it is showing us. If content exists with the special character and this thing, if some of the content related to that, if it is existing on the web, it will give us. But if it is not existing, now if it is at the rate, only at the rate is basically a we're trying to give it as a keyword. Then it did not exist. But at the rate plus, it becomes a content now. Then it is showing us. So when we give more than one special character, it becomes a content for it. But when we give only a single alphabet, it doesn't become a content. It still remains a keyword. There's a difference between content and a keyword. And can we search
Yeah,
for
this I
emojis?
understood, and this.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, please tell. Shami, please.
Yeah, so see what I was asking, these like star you have used now. So right now it was keyword search only, but how star uh,
We'll
did
go in
additional
advance, not
value or
now.
what?
Not now.
So
We'll go in
what I was
advance.
asking, like, yeah, understood. Like you use star here. Likewise, those other characters also can be used in combination
Star
for
is not a
our
keyword.
regular searches.
So star is not a
Yeah,
keyword.
not I'm
It's an
saying.
operator.
Yeah,
We'll cover in future.
Yeah, operator. Okay, I'm saying like star, other operators, these whatever we are talking today, they also can be used in a combination of our keywords for our regular searches. That is what I'm asking.
We can.
And how they will help. Okay, thanks.
That's the reason I'm saying just focus on very basic. What actually this particular operator is doing, what the space is doing, what these codes are doing. Focus only on that. You just be super focused only on a concept of what this is doing. And once your basic concepts are clear, when you're super focused on it, tomorrow, how much the difficult problem is, you'll be able to solve it because those basics are really correct.
Okay.
And as I mentioned, this going to be complex to complex to complex when we go to the advanced. That's the reason I'm saying basics, basics, basics. And that's the reason we are saying don't understand just how, understand why also. And ask me why. I'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, Saifa, you had some question?
No, sir. For now, it is all clear.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll
I
just
have
take a
one question.
pause.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, Raghu,
Yeah.
please go ahead.
Can I use either with in URL or outside also? For example, in URL colon then software hyphen minus engineer. It should
We can
work,
use that.
right?
We can use that. That
Okay.
should. But in URL colon software space engineer will not work. It will only
Yeah,
take
that won't
software
work.
engineer
Yes.
will take as an additional keyword.
Right.
But if you
right.
get software hyphen engineer, it will work.
Okay. Thank you.
And Shiv, if we just write software engineer together, it will work?
It will work. If the content is existing with the software engineer together in the URLs, it will work.
Shiv, I'll just reiterate for my own reference. So special characters will only work if in case we, give them with another keyword, then only
Another
Google will take
character.
it as a existing
Character with another
content.
character. It will take it
Correct.
as a
Then
content.
if there is existing content on Google regarding what we have written there, then it might show some results. Otherwise, it will not.
Yes, because it becomes a content for it. keyword is basically only a words which can be spelled. And if it is a special character, for single character, we can't search. For a double character, as soon as we give two characters, it becomes a content. It becomes a एक पागल को ढूंढो नहीं मिलेगा, पागल खाने को ढूंढो पागल मिल जाएंगे. It's like that. Simple. You search for one mad person, you will not find it. But you go where the mad people are admitted, you'll find. So it's like that. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll just take a pause for today. I think it's too much, but if we go for additional thing, it will confuse. First, brush up on these three things. Tomorrow also, can we go at the same time so that you have a day of time to brush up on things? Tonight, I'll upload the videos and send it.
Morning is
Pretty-
better. I don't know this.
Yeah, morning is better, Shiv,
Yeah.
Morning
because
is better.
For
All
me this
yeah,
time also
to
okay.
manage everything.
no worries. Let's do it tomorrow, 10 o'clock. All right.
Yeah.
So understanding is clear. Basics are clear. Any doubts? Any confusion? Level 2 exam is not
Yeah,
just
Shiv.
going to be with objectives or with that drop downs, but also we'll have to explain certain things. So are you finding it interesting, boring?
Interesting, sure.
Interesting.
Or oh my god, what is this confusing? This guy is crazy. Simply he's telling nothing.
Yeah, Shiv,
Huh?
before you wind up, I just request to share the recordings of yesterday and today also so that we can make a
I'll
better
share it
revision.
tonight. I'll do it.
Yeah, please, because today's session I have bits and pieces, so I want to go through it before tomorrow's session. So please.
Done. We'll do it.